What the fuck is up, you glorious bastards? Back for more brain-bending bullshit, are you?
Always ready to dive into some knowledge, my friend.
Damn right. Today, we're talking mountains, baby.
Mountains.
The Appalachians. Some asshat wrote in wanting to know about them.
Ah, classic choice. Full of geological and human history.
And we're going deep. Not the usual tourist trap bullshit.
Sounds good to me.
Wikipedia is our guide for this deep dive. That all right with you?
Wikipedia, the encyclopedia of the people. Can't go wrong there.
Fuck yeah. Let's cut the crap and get to the juicy bits. First off, these mountains are fucking ancient, right?
Oh, absolutely. Older than the Rocky Mountains by a long shot. Imagine this, the Appalachians started forming over 1 billion years ago.
1 billion years.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's before multicellular life even existed. The Precambrian era, when Earth was still figuring its shit out.
Earth was just a giant ball of molten lava, and these mountains were already popping up.
Continents were smashing together to form supercontinents back then.
Sounds like a goddamn demolition derby.
Yeah. One of those bad boys was Rodinia, and the collision that formed it gave birth to the first mountains in the Appalachian region.
So continents smashing together like a slow-motion car crash, pushing up those first peaks.
Exactly. Geologists call this the Grenville orogeny, but you can just think of it as mountain birth through epic collisions.
Grenville orogeny? Sounds like some kind of prehistoric sex party. But okay, I'm picturing it. Continents smashing, mountains rising. So these bad boys were already huge back when Earth was still a toddler.
Exactly. And they were probably even taller back then.
Taller? How is that even possible?
Erosion. Over millions of years, erosion wore them down like nature's sandpaper smoothing out the rough edges.
Damn, nature, you sneaky bitch. So we're talking mountains, valleys, plateaus, the whole 9 yards.
That's a great way to put it. The Appalachians are a massive mountain system stretching from Newfoundland in Canada all the way down to Alabama in the U.S. It's not just one mountain range, it's a whole complex of geological features that were shaped by those crazy forces we talked about.
Okay, so we're not talking about some dinky little hills here. This is a proper mountain system, right?
Oh, absolutely. The highest peak, Mount Mitchell, down in North Carolina, stands over 6,600 feet tall.
All right, I get it. Ancient mountains, supercontinents, millions of years. My brain is starting to hurt. Can we talk about some cooler shit now? Like, were there fucking dinosaurs roaming around these mountains?
Well, dinosaurs came a bit later, after the Appalachians had already been around for a while.
So no T-Rex terrorizing the Appalachian Trail?
Not quite, but remember that supercontinent Rodinia? Eventually, it broke up.
Oh shit, here we go again. More continental carnage.
And guess what formed where those mountains were standing?
Don't tell me. Another mountain range.
An ocean.
Wait, hold the phone. You're telling me these mountains were underwater at some point?
Yep. For millions of years, this ocean, called the Iapetus Ocean, covered what's now the eastern part of North America.
So those rocks you see when you're hiking, they were once at the bottom of an ocean.
Exactly. And the sediments from that ocean piled up on the ocean floor, eventually forming the layers of rock we see in the Appalachians today.
That's some seriously fucked up shit. So those rocks are like ancient seafloor. Do they have like fossilized fish and shit in them?
You bet. Those sediments contain all sorts of fossils from ancient marine life. It's like a time capsule from a lost world just waiting to be cracked open.
Okay, this is getting way too deep for me. Let's get back to the mountains themselves. We've got these ancient peaks, then they're chilling under an ocean, then what? How did they become the Appalachian Mountains we know and love today?
Well, remember how continents love to play bumper cars? The Iapetus Ocean eventually closed up as the continents drifted back together.
Oh, for fuck's sake, not this shit again.
And guess what that formed?
Please don't say another supercontinent.
Another supercontinent, this one called Pangaea. And with that continental mashup came more mountain building action.
So it's like those continents just couldn't stay away from each other. Always got to be bumping uglies, forming mountains, and causing chaos.
You could say that. And this time it wasn't just one big collision. There were multiple mountain building events that shaped the Appalachians as we know them. Geologists call these orogenies.
Orogenies? Sounds like a goddamn medical condition.
Imagine a giant geological mosh pit with continents smashing into each other, pushing up those mountains higher and higher. That's basically what an orogeny is. These collisions happened over millions of years, slowly shaping the Appalachians into the badass mountain range we see today.
So the Appalachians are basically the product of a continental gangbang. That's fucking poetic, man.
You could say that, but it's important to remember it's not like the continents were making conscious decisions. They were driven by forces deep within the Earth plate tectonics, to be exact.
Plate tectonics, isn't that like The Earth's crust moving around like a bunch of drunkards at a party?
Pretty much. The Earth's crust is broken up into these massive plates that are constantly moving, albeit very slowly. Sometimes they move apart, creating oceans. Other times they collide, and that's when you get mountains. It's like a giant jigsaw puzzle, constantly being shaken up and rearranged.
So basically, the Appalachians are just a product of the Earth's drunken shenanigans. I'm starting to like this planet more and more.
Well, it's certainly a dynamic planet, and the story of the Appalachians is a testament to that constant change and upheaval.
Okay, my head is spinning with all this continental drift and mountain building talk. But I got to ask, Wikipedia mentioned something about the Appalachians being connected to, wait for it, Africa. What the actual fuck?
It's true. Back when Pangea was still a thing, the Appalachians were just a piece of a much larger mountain range, one that spanned across multiple continents. We're talking about a time when you could have walked from what's now North America to Africa without getting your feet wet.
Holy shit, that's a long-ass hike. But seriously, how the hell did they figure that out? Did some geologist just trip over a rock and go, wait a minute, this looks suspiciously like something I saw in Morocco?
Well, it's a bit more complicated than that, but geologists are like the Sherlock Holmes of rocks.
Fucking rock detectives.
Piecing together clues from fossils, rock formations, even the magnetic signatures of ancient continents.
That's some next-level shit. But speaking of rocks, let's cut the crap and talk about something a little more down to earth.
Oh.
Coal. Isn't the Appalachian region famous for that black gold?
You bet. The Appalachians have been a major source of coal for over a century, all thanks to those ancient forests that covered the region millions of years ago. Picture this. Lush swamps teeming with giant ferns and towering trees. As those forests died and decayed, they were buried under layers of sediment, and over millions of years, the heat and pressure transformed that organic matter into coal.
So basically, we're burning the fossilized remains of ancient trees to power our modern world. That's kind of poetic, in a fucked up kind of way.
Yeah. It's certainly a reminder of the deep connections between the past and present. And the type of coal found in the Appalachians varies depending on the geological history of the area. In the eastern part, you've got anthracite coal, which is harder and burns cleaner. That's because it's been cooked longer under higher pressure. But in the western part, you've got bituminous coal, which is softer and has more impurities.
So anthracite is like the high-end artisanal coal, while bituminous is the cheap, mass-produced stuff. Makes sense. But hold on, didn't Wikipedia also mention something about natural gas? Is that a thing in the Appalachians too?
Absolutely. In recent years, there's been a boom in natural gas extraction from the Marcellus and Utica shale formations. These formations lie beneath much of the Appalachian Plateau and contain vast reserves of natural gas, trapped within those shale layers.
So basically, the Appalachians are a goddamn energy buffet.
Mm-hmm.
Coal, natural gas, what's next?
Mm-hmm.
Oil gushing from the mountaintops.
Haha. Well, maybe not oil gushing from the mountaintops, but who knows what the future holds. Technology is constantly evolving, and we're always finding new ways to extract resources from the earth.
True that. But all this talk about coal and natural gas makes me wonder about the environmental impact. Isn't all this extraction messing up the mountains?
I mean, I've seen pictures of mountaintop removal mining, and that shit looks seriously fucked up.
It's definitely a complex issue. There's no doubt that mining, especially mountaintop removal, has had a significant impact on the Appalachian landscape and ecosystems. We're talking about deforestation, habitat destruction, water pollution, even changes to the local climate.
Damn, that's heavy stuff. I mean, blowing up entire mountaintops just to get to the coal seems kind of extreme, don't you think? It's like we're literally reshaping the earth for our energy needs.
It definitely raises some serious ethical and environmental concerns, and there's a lot of debate about the long-term consequences of these practices. Some argue that the economic benefits outweigh the environmental costs, while others believe we need to find more sustainable ways to extract resources. It's a tough call for sure. But you know what? Let's take a break from all this doom and gloom and talk about something a little more fun. What about the wildlife? Wikipedia mentions some pretty badass animals, like black bears and salamanders.
Yeah.
Seriously, salamanders.
Aha, yes, salamanders. You might not think of them as badass, but the Appalachians are actually a global hotspot for salamander diversity.
Salamanders? Really? I always thought those were just tiny little lizard things that lived under rocks and ate bugs.
Well, they are small, and they do love moist environments. But they're actually amphibians, not lizards, and they play a crucial role in the ecosystem.
Okay, maybe I underestimated the salamanders. But what about the big guys? Any bears lurking around?
Oh yeah, black bears are pretty common throughout the Appalachians. They're generally shy and avoid humans. But it's always smart to be bear aware when you're hiking in their territory.
Solid advice. I'd rather not end up as Bear Chow.
Mm.
What else is out there? Any other critters I should be aware of?
Well, you've got white-tailed deer, beavers, foxes, raccoons. Even elk are making a comeback in some areas. And of course, we can't forget about the Appalachian Trail, a legendary hiking trail that stretches over 2,000 miles through the heart of the mountains.
The Appalachian Trail. That's like the holy grail of hiking, right?
So,
People spend months through hiking that thing, battling blisters, bears, and boredom.
it's definitely a serious undertaking, but it also offers a chance to experience the incredible diversity of the Appalachian ecosystems. From lush forests to rugged mountain peaks, from cascading waterfalls to tranquil streams.
Damn, you're making me want to ditch this podcast and hit the trail.
Yeah.
But before I get too carried away with my hiking fantasies, we need to talk about the people who lived in these mountains long before any of us showed up. What's the story with Native Americans in the Appalachians? I bet they knew those mountains like the back of their hands.
Absolutely. Long before European explorers arrived, the Appalachians were home to a diverse array of Native American tribes. They had a deep understanding of the land, its resources, and its rhythms. They lived in harmony with nature, shaping the landscape through controlled burns, agriculture, and settlements.
So they weren't just living in the mountains, they were actively managing them. Kind of like the original park rangers.
You could say that. They had a sophisticated understanding of how to live in balance with nature, something we could all learn from today.
Preach. Okay, so we've got ancient geology, coal-powered industries, badass salamanders, and a rich Native American history. What else is there to unpack in this Appalachian grab bag?
Well, we can't talk about the Appalachians without talking about the arrival of European explorers and colonists. That changed the face of the mountains forever.
Ah, shit, here comes the drama. Conquest, conflict, all that fun stuff. Let's be real. Human history is basically just a series of people fuck each other over for land, resources, and power.
It wasn't always pretty, that's for sure, but it's an important part of the story. Understanding how the Appalachians shaped the course of human history is crucial to appreciating their significance. We're talking about the British, French, and Spanish all vying for control of the region, leading to wars, treaties, and ultimately the displacement of many Native American communities.
Damn, colonialism strikes again. It's like a recurring nightmare throughout history. But speaking of history, what about that unique Appalachian culture everyone always talks about? The music, the folklore, the whole shebang. Is that just a romanticized stereotype, or is there something real there?
There's definitely something real there. The isolation of the mountains, combined with the diverse cultural influences from Native Americans, European settlers, and African slaves, created a distinctive cultural tapestry. It's a blend of traditions, beliefs, and practices that's unlike anything else you'll find in America.
So basically, the Appalachians are like a cultural melting pot, simmering for centuries in the heart of America.
That's a great way to put it. And that unique blend is reflected in the music, the stories, the crafts, the way of life. It's a testament to the resilience and creativity of the people who call these mountains home.
Damn, that's deep. My brain is officially fried. But I'm starting to see why our listener wanted to know more about the Appalachians. There's a lot more to these mountains than meets the eye. It's like they're not just a place, they're a whole damn story, a living, breathing testament to the power of nature and the complexities of human history.
That's beautifully said. And we've only just scratched the surface.
I feel like we need another beer after that one.
Yeah.
But before we go off and contemplate the vastness of geological time and the mysteries of Appalachian culture, we've got one more part to this epic deep dive. Stick around, you magnificent bastards. All right, you beautiful degenerates, we're back. Time to wrap up our Appalachian ass-kicking. We've covered some seriously mind-blowing shit. Ancient continents, coal-powered shenanigans, badass salamanders. Hell, we've even talked about rocks.
It's been quite a journey, that's for sure.
Damn right it has. But before we let our listeners escape, we need to tie this whole goddamn thing together. What's the takeaway here? What makes the Appalachians so fucking special?
For me, it's the sheer scope of their story. Billions of years of geological history. We're talking a tapestry woven from continental collisions, volcanic eruptions, the relentless forces of erosion. Then you layer on top of that the human history, the cultural richness, the struggles and triumphs of the people who've called these mountains home. It's a story that's both epic and intimate, grand and deeply personal.
Damn, you're getting all poetic on me.
Let's see.
But I feel you. These mountains have seen some serious shit. They witnessed the rise and fall of continents, the evolution of life, the whole goddamn human drama unfolding right before their eyes. They're like, I don't know, those wise old grandfathers who've seen it all and just sit there, smoking their pipes, judging the world with their silent gaze.
Haha. Wise, judgmental mountains. I like that. But there's also a sense of resilience, of continuity. Despite all the changes the Appalachians endure, they're a constant in a world that's constantly in flux.
And that's something we can all appreciate, right? In a world that's going to shit faster than a drunken frat boy at a buffet, it's comforting to know there's still something solid, something that's been around for the long haul.
Absolutely. The Appalachians are a reminder that we're part of something much bigger than ourselves, something ancient and enduring.
Deep, man.
All right.
I need another beer after that one. But before we all go off and contemplate the meaning of life amidst these ancient peaks, any final words of wisdom for our listener?
Well, I think the Appalachians offer a valuable lesson. Change is inevitable. These mountains were built up and torn down over millions of years, shaped by forces beyond our control. And today, they're facing new challenges. Climate change, deforestation, pollution. It's up to us to understand these challenges, to learn from the past, and to find ways to protect these incredible mountains for future generations.
Man, that's some heavy shit. But you're right. We can't just sit back and let these mountains go to hell in a handbasket. We got to fight for them. Just like the people who came before us fought for their homes and their way of life.
Exactly. The Appalachians are a symbol of resilience, of adaptation, of the enduring power of nature. And they deserve our respect, our protection, and our goddamn admiration.
Well said, my friend. So there you have it, you glorious bastards. The Appalachians. More than just banjos and moonshine. We're talking ancient history, epic geology, and a whole lot of badass nature. Stay curious, motherfuckers. And don't forget to follow us on social media for more mind-blowing deep dives. Peace out.